Let's solve the third problem from weekly contest 103. The problem definition is that we are given an integer array nums and an integer k, and for each item of the array we can either add k to the item or subtract k from the item. The score of the nums is the difference between the maximum and minimum number in nums. We have to return the minimum score of nums after changing the value at each index. Now let's see the example 3 to better understand the problem. Here the target is to minimize the difference between the numbers of the nums array after performing the operation, that is either to add k or subtract k from each item of the array. So what we can do is that we can find the average of the nums and perform addition or subtraction operation based on the difference between the average and the item of the nums. Here we can add 3 to the first number 1 and add 3 to the second number as well, and subtract 3 from the third number. So our array will become 4, 6, 3, and the score is maximum nums minus minimum num, that is 6 minus 3, so we will get a 3. Now let's consider two more examples to better understand the problem. Here I have taken two examples, that is our given array is from 1 to 100 and the value of k is 5 for the first case, and for the second case the array is same given array, but the value of k is 50 for this case. Now what comes to our mind to solve this problem is that we have to find the average of our given array. So I have found the average, that is 50 for our case, and let's consider the following if conditions, that is if the number is less than average then we will add k to our number, and the number is greater than or equal to average then we will subtract k from our number. After doing those two operations we get the second array, and in this array the minimum number is 6 and the maximum number is 95, so the result will become 95 minus 6, that is 89. And let's consider the second array now, the second case. So in the second case the value of k is 50, so after doing these if conditions we get the third array, that is 51 to 50, and the minimum number here is 0 and the maximum number is 90, so our result will become 90 minus 0, that is 90. Now after solving these two cases we can get an intuition, that is to any number to become the minimum number it can either be the first number where we are adding k to it, or it can be the number where we subtract k for the first time, that is in this case 50. Like for k is equal to 50 we are subtracting 50 from 50, so it can become the minimum number 0 in this case, and for this case it is we are adding 5 to 1 and it is becoming 6, so this is the minimum number. This is one intuition, and the another intuition is that for any number in our array to become the maximum number it can either be the last number, that is this one, or it can be the last number where we have added k to it. Like for this case 40 is the last number where we added 50 to it and we get 90, that is the maximum number. So if we consider these two cases then our problem become really simple. What we can do is iterate through a for loop through our array and try to find these numbers where they have the potential to become the minimum or the maximum. Now let's jump the code and see how we can code this solution. First we need to sort our nums array. Now I need to get the max of our nums, that is the max, and also need to get the minimum. Now we have to consider one case, that is what if we add k to all the item of our nums array, then the difference between the maximum and minimum will be our answer. So we can just initialize our answer with that value. And now let iterate through our nums array 2 at a time. Let's consider a to be our first item of our nums array and b the second one. Now we can get our current max, that is we have two candidates to be the current max, that is the maximum that can be the maximum of ma minus k or a plus k. Similarly, we have two candidates for our current minimum. That can be mi plus k or b minus k. This is according to our drawing, so the candidate that can be the maximum or the minimum, I have written them and choose the maximum and the minimum between them. Now let's just calculate the answer. That will be the minimum of our already calculated answer and the difference between our current max and current minimum. Now we can just return our answer. Now let me submit this. Yeah, this one is accepted.